See where we get to.
And what would the person say, knowing that it is the narcissist who's been hoisted by their own petard, that the self-incriminating monologue just brought about their own downfall or exposure? Few things would be more satisfying.
Just try it with Eric.
The documentary follows several key figures, British TikToker Wilson Sullivan. The American podcasting games was actually called Louis Theroux, a French foot. His associate Justin Waller, the streamer Sneeko, Nicholas Kent.
I've got to say, when he mentioned the guy in Marbella, obviously because I used to live down that way, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, here we go. Because again, one of the reasons I left the coast, and I lived down that side of Spain for quite some time, and it is just full of. It's nicknamed the California of Europe. Is down on the coast, on the Costa del Sol, and Marbella and Puerto Banús and all those areas are just a hub for people who grift and grift very well, to be fair. But anyway,
Lactazy traders. Theroux tales the Perugian studios streets armed with camera and his signature deadpan pauses. What emerges is not just an ideology, but a business model. Outrage equals engagement equals cash. Yet the silences repeatedly force the men to articulate the moral cost of that model, and they damn themselves every time. Let's begin with Harrison Sullivan. Sullivan, a 24-year-old British bodybuilder with a suspended sentence for dangerous driving, is Theroux's most extended case study. He struts through Marbella workouts, preaching red pill truths about feminism and the Matrix, while managing an agency that signs OnlyFans creators. In one early scene, Sullivan boasts about his new venture. Theroux simply asks, without judgment, whether he agrees with OnlyFans. Sullivan pivots. Do I agree with it? No. Would I profit off it? Yeah. Hypocrisy. Theroux lets the hypocritical admission hang. No follow-up, no outrage. The silence then stretches just long enough for Sullivan to double down.
this is the interesting point where he says that in it as well, where he doesn't give him outrage, he doesn't give him that what's classed as narcissistic fuel, is where you're giving an emotional response to the hypocrisy that they've just laid in front of you. He kind of just gives it silence. So this kid's now got nowhere to go because he's got nothing to fuel his next comeback, which is what he's waiting for.
Well, interesting, because I've seen a clip of that, and he does have a response. He just tells Louis Theroux to fuck off. He says,
Does
I don't
he?
give a fuck. Yeah, he said, I don't give a fuck. He says, I make my money off rage bait. He said, that's the game. He said, you're just a fucking simp, a beta male. I don't give a fuck about you. Tells him straight to his face.
See, that's really interesting, isn't it? Because what is the one thing that we've discussed when we said we're going to start this channel is we want to avoid the rage bait whilst still being able to talk about those topics, but avoid it being rage baity because we just don't like that kind of approach.
Don't know if
we
it
know
was
it's not
him.
good.
I don't know if it was him in particular, but one of them, the mum is there. So I haven't seen the entire documentary. I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch it. But I've seen breakdowns of clips. And there's one clip, I can't remember which person it is he's talking to, and his mum goes for Louis Theroux and says, you're only here because you need clickbait, click yourself. You're just here, you're saying you're here to expose people. You're playing the same game my son plays. I'm paraphrasing what she said, but she's like, you're only doing this for views. You don't give a shit. And you don't give a shit about anything you leave behind as long as you get the views that you need. So don't come here criticising us when you're in the same game.
You see, that's interesting because Louis Theroux, coming from a very liberal background, that would not be accurate anyway. But it's good to throw up in that moment as a point of deflection to say you're no better than us.
Well, I don't think. I think it's the Louis has made a living exposing the weirdness of people.
Yeah,
and it's made him very wealthy, right? But that's at the same time, that's no different than if a channel blows up and you make a fortune of money discussing people. But he does what he does for entertainment, for views, because that's what makes money. The guy that the bodybuilder with the OnlyFans content, well, that's just Andrew Tate's business model.
Yeah.
I mean, Andrew Tate was a three-time world kickboxing champion who happens to own a webcam company doing OnlyFans. So
Yeah, but it's then I think what he's pointing out, and as I play the rest of the clip, it's that hypocrisy between no, we hate women that do stuff like this. It's wrong. We don't. And all that kind of real
100, yeah,
hatred that comes
yeah.
for it. But yeah, I'm happy to make money off it and exploit them at the same time.
But that to me, it's a different hypocrisy, if you like. But Louis, I find really weird things and get people to watch as I expose these people who are really weird. Do you know what I mean? It's whereas and here he's exposing
But
how.
he's
Well,
not saying he hates these weird people. So Louis Theroux to me has always come across as someone that's trying to understand their point of view. So yes,
I don't. I would say he is. It's a type of voyeurism. He's exposing their point of view to me. I don't
okay.
think he's sympathetic to them. I think he wants the gotcha. He wants the tagline, the
No,
punchline.
see, when I used to watch him a long time ago, and I never took him for doing that kind of gotcha moment. I know in some of them he did, and that was fine. But he did genuinely seem to me, and that might be my own naivety, I don't know. But he was interested in seeing it from why they looked at the world the way that they did, and then moved through it the way that they did, as opposed to just saying, "Got you, you're wrong." And now I'm going to exploit you. I don't think it was. I don't disagree with the voyeurism part, but I don't think it was just for exposure.
I don't think there's anything genuine about him, in the sense of the reason he stays silent is because he's an expert at knowing his audience wants to see people expose themselves, and he's happy for you to look as stupid as you want to look. Well, what I'll caveat with, some of them deserve it. You know what I mean? They're their own worst enemy.